Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother.
Today we travelled from Port Neville, about 38 nautical miles, into Port McNeill.
Finest going out for coffee attire. It was bright and sunny a few seconds ago. That's what we're facing now. Yes, we're walking. And yes, it's raining and it's cold. Just a quick blurb about coming into Port McNeill. So we've been here for a couple of days actually, and enjoying the heck out of it. It's one of these things where the wind won't let us continue, so like everything else, we just have to make the best of it.
But you know, this is a pretty nice place to be stuck, if you will. We're actually at the private marina here in Port McNeill. There's two marinas. One is the municipal marina, and then there's the private one called the North Island Marina. And the first time we ever came into Port McNeill, actually a few years ago, we were at the municipal dock, and this young guy walks over and bangs on our boat and he says, "Are you Ian and Helen?" And we said, "Yep." He says, "You're on the wrong dock." He said, "You should be over at my dock." And yes, that was Bruce Jackman. So the Jackman family owns the North Island Marina dock, and that's where we are today. And I would highly recommend it to anybody coming north on their boat.
They're fantastic. I was just their competitive prices on fuel. We saved thousands of dollars on on the 43 liters we bought. and to our millions of followers, make a point of stopping here. It's a great marina. The parts, everything else, they've helped us out with the furnace, a few of the little issues we've had on the boat. And as much as we want to get going, there's no need to. They just have been such great hosts. So
yeah, in fact, I joked with Katie and Ellen, two of the kids that are now actually running the marina. I said, you know, what is your 5-month rate?
Just stay here.
We'll just stay here because really, you know, we're not being paid to do this ad for North Island Marina, but definitely come here. They are so generous, friendly, and Alan and Katie, thank you so much for having us, for being so generous. And Alan, for the Wi-Fi that is by far the best Wi-Fi that we've ever had in any marina. I know it took you 4 years to put it all in, and I think it paid off for you. And so happy that we could still watch Netflix until you take that down, but thank you.
And we're warm because the furnace is working once in a while. So we're happy about that. Fixing our heater again.
How many times has it been now?
This is just the second time, but that's one too many times. As much fun as fixing the pump. So this is our little S-bar furnace, which is really hard to find somebody to work on. So in the winter time, I decided I would do it myself. I had success, I got it running again. And it's all because of these little tiny filters. So you can see that that's plugged up. It was plugged up the last time. So I think we had a little bit of bad fuel in there. And it's a big job to change this little thing. Furnace is tucked underneath the boat, and I get to go down there and cut hoses and unplug wires and put exhaust on it and all that fun stuff just to change that little filter. So taking it in and out is about an hour job each way, but changing the filter takes about 10 seconds.
As we were traveling to Port McNeill, our bilge pump came on, and we discovered that we had about 10 gallons of water in the bilge. So we have to source where that's coming in. We're going to start with the plumbing, which is at the stern of the boat, in a really awkward spot underneath the bed.
So as much as it's a pain in the ass, we have to do all this. So we've got a memory foam. It doesn't want to stay pushed up, which is a pain in the ass. Then we have our cushions, which don't want to come out because they're a pain in the ass. Then we have the slats underneath it. All have to be moved, and these are here to get airflow underneath our mattress. So they all have to come out. So this is our engine, the transmission actually, and our shaft going through, and stuffing box basically. So that shaft turns to propeller. There's our transmission, and the good news is everything is dry in here. It's really dirty, but it's dry. What I was worried about was this. It's our through hull for engine coolant, so it draws salt water up, takes it through this filter. Filter's dry and goes into the engine and then pumps out through our exhaust. Our exhaust box is here, and that's the other thing I was worried about. It's dry. So as much as it looks dirty and grimy, it's really not. It's pretty clean. It's not greasy. It's just stains from over the years, And they don't really finish these compartments off on basic boats very well. They cut corners, so the finish on here can't be cleaned. Anything that stains, it stays there. But I can't see any water coming in here. So next, we have to follow these lines, which are freshwater lines. It's dry here coming out of this water tank. Goes underneath the floor over to the port side of the boat and hooks up with our bow water tank. And we'll have to see if that's leaking anywhere. So next. Okay, so here's our water lines. What have we got here? This is the tank, this is the line coming from our rear tank. This is the one that comes from the forward tank. Connections are all dry. The filter going into the pump is dry. That's dry. There's nothing down below here. That's dry. Okay, that's good news. Bad news is we still don't know where the water came from that filled the bilge up. So this is actually pretty clean right now. Again, it's not finished very well, but there's no grease or grime or dust or anything else, so I'm happy with that. There's no leaks coming from our furnace. We can cover it all up and move forward. This is how the photographers get these pictures. Helen had to climb up on top of everything here and look down into these areas. So
can I come out now?
Nominate her for an Emmy.
So the next place we're going to check is underneath the kitchen sink, which is where the hot water tank is, and see if there's anything going on under here. So this line here is just a vent line for when the tank gets hot and overflow comes out of this hole. And in the past, this used to go straight into the bilge. It would run underneath the cupboard here and go into the bilge. And I actually added this plastic piece on to this dark piece back here. And now it actually drains into this liter bottle so that none of that goes into the bilge anymore. So that was definitely an improvement. And then back here, we've got the hot water line coming right off the tank here. I'm just going to have a feel around in here and see if there's anything going on. So that one's dry. And I think we have a problem. See that, but that's really wet. So it turns out that we had a pretty good leak going on down there, which would explain most of the water in the bilge, and it was coming from this little hose right here. You can't see the end of it because it's underneath the cupboard here and by the side of the hot water tank, but that was the culprit. At the other end had a split in it and was dumping lots of water into the bilge. So Ian's put a new piece of hose on there and we are good to go. So water leak sourced, eliminated. I'm sure there'll be another one next week.
So good news is we got boxes and boxes of spare parts now. On the hot water tank, what was happening was, Helen showed you where it was leaking. We go in there, take it apart. This piece of hose had a tiny little split up here. And as the hot water tank got hot, went into pressure, of course we'd been running for like 8 hours that day. As it got hot, it was just dripping out there like crazy, and everything in the boat goes down the hull, under the floor, into the bilge, so you have no idea where it's coming from. You can open the bilge up and see water running down there, but you don't know where it's coming from, so we're hoping that's the problem. We've run the boat again now. It's dry. So we're hoping that's all it is. So carrying little pieces of hose, different sizes, and anything else you can keep on board. You can never have too many spare parts because you just never know when you're going to need them. So anyway, problem solved for now, hoping that this works out for a little while. The boat is dry, furnace is working. 2 down.
For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare